Hello. I believe we're now live, so welcome. Twice in one day, you get me. This is season 2, episode 4 of Inspired to Thrive. And if you're struggling with time, then let's talk about time management, the U-based warrior way. So I'm your host, Fiona Jean. I'm Purposeful Warrior, and my passion is to teach others, share my experience and all wisdom to ultimately help you to create generational wealth for yourself and your legacy. Those dollars that live on long past ourselves. So I'm not FJTV. I keep saying this on all the series that I pop up on. It's not a weekly sitcom where you can sit back and, not really be present. I want you to commit to being present if you're going to come and join me live or watch the replays and do the work, because success only comes through action. I think if you know me, you're starting to hopefully hear that message. I'll poke the bear, speak my truth, and ask our guests to do the same. Your guest today is me, moi, Fiona Jean. So I hope you rock out with me and enjoy. Please feel free, put the comments, say hello, let me know that you're here. You're watching the replay as normal, hashtag replay. Ask any questions and tag me if you make sure I see it and I can respond. Because after all, there is no magic pill for what we do. We have to take action in life. So I'd love you to grab your conscious cuppa, your notebook, your pen, perhaps somewhere quiet, and I look forward to engaging with you. And if you're live, like I said, drop in the comment, and if not, hashtag replay, because there's lots of lives coming over this next few weeks as we get ready to launch the Awaken the Warrior Within series. I'm really excited about this. They're coming out in 2022. Lots of retreats, workshops, day events, online events, masterminds, all sorts of things are coming. So it's really, really exciting to see this roll out, my dreams and aspirations coming to life at last. So I often hear things like, I seem to never have enough time. It's one of the many things that I hear people say over and over again, and especially this year as people struggle to juggle family, work, life commitments around, things around their clients and customers too, and along with my to-do list is never ending. And where did the time go? So if any of these phrases are familiar to you and you find yourself saying similar things, just drop in the comment box what it is that you say to yourself. Because there are many books and gurus that try to solve this problem. And they tell us time management is the key to success when you're growing a business. And yes, that's true. If you watch the step 3 for Warrior Wealth Wednesday, that I did early at 12 o'clock, if not, go watch the replay. We talk about the magic formula to time and money freedom. And that actually includes time. Time is one of the key pieces to having success. So it is very true what the books and the gurus say. And I can see perhaps you're nodding your head along and saying, oh yes, I must get better at my time management. I must do things differently. And that's what I'm doing wrong. It's time to dust the old diary off again. It's not. There's a different way of doing things. So I'm here today to challenge the idea of time management. Because if you truly think about that statement, I don't really know anyone in the world ever who's been able to manage time. Because time is not a thing that can be managed. It's a construct of our human psyche, of our mind. When we sense that time's passing, we can sense it's passing. We know that it's like, for me earlier it was 2:15. I thought, okay, have something to eat. I know I've got the live at 3 o'clock. So I had a sense that time was passing. But we can't throw a rope around it, tie it down and manage it. I'm just giggling to myself because I've got this image in my head now of me lassoing cattle, throwing the rope. I have to add that to my bucket list of fun things to do before I'm 80. The only thing that we can manage is ourselves in time. We can only manage and control our attention to time, aka like what we focus on, what we choose to focus on. Because your attention is hijacked by distractions. Do you get distracted? Oh, I still do at times. I'm a lot better than I was, but I still do get distracted. Do you? Let me know. Say hi in the chat box, say yes, you know, whatever it is. What is it that happens, you think, when you get distracted? For me, it's things like, you know, sometimes work piles up, you know, making me want to run away when another demand lands on my shoulders, you know, like, something else comes in, something adds to the to-do list. And I think, oh, it's too much for today. I just want to run away and just forget about it all, bury my head in the sand. You know, be that, is it an emu, an ostrich that buries its head? I forget which one. Or it's things like, you know, the pressure that to perform, you know, to get things done builds. And I find that when I allow that pressure in, then really lucrative opportunities are missed because I'm not in the right headspace to take advantage of them. I miss things. And, you know, if I take time off, I feel guilty, you know, all these sorts of things. And let me know if they're resonating with you. If you think the same things as well, that you should be doing something else, that you don't have enough time to stop. You know, you feel guilty when you stop for a cup of tea, or you get some fresh air outside, you take 5 minutes. Or you're left feeling disappointed that those grand schemes you planned, you know, way back when, perhaps it was, I don't know, January 17, 18, 19, 20, or even 21, and none of them have come to fruition. Or perhaps you've achieved everything you dreamed of for these years and checked every task off your to-do list with time to spare. If this was you, then congratulations. That's awesome. I'm so pleased for you. But if it wasn't, I invite you to lean in and listen up. So in this live, I'll share 4 tips to say no. And guess what? No surprise here, it all starts with you. You are the key to finding time. You-based time management, the Warrior Way, offers the practical and proven path, if you like, to time success. You want to know the secret? Are you leaning in? They work from the inside out, not the other way around. Many time management systems offer tips and tricks to help you squeeze the most out of your minutes. But my you-based time management system is fundamentally different. You-based time management tools in your hands. As I said, it starts with you. The power and the control is all inside your hands. What the tools do is provide you with a way in, a way to open your heart, if you like, and to begin to explore the uniqueness of your own personal relationship with time, because we're all different. There is no one size fits all. You know, it's like that bikini or bathing suit, one size. Yeah, right. It's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to fit over my butt. You know what I mean? It might over a size 10 or a size 12 or 14, but not mine. So one size does not fit all. We all have our own unique relationship with time, just like we do with, you know, the one size swimsuit. This is because there's nothing more energizing or more efficient, to be honest, than being in sync with yourself. I wish I could describe the feeling. I could describe the feeling, but I really want you to experience it for yourself if you haven't. So when it comes to managing time, knowing yourself is far better than any number of time tips. The you-based time management tools also is about your energy. I suggest you think of my you-based time management tools as doorways, if you like, offering you a way into your heart, your authentic self. No matter what kind of time challenge you face, when you tap into your core, unimagined opportunities and pathways open up for you. That's because you're connecting with yourself into a deep and vital source of power. Think of plugging in a lamp, where moments before you might have felt stuck and stimmified, you know, really frozen in that moment. But accessing your heart, plugging in the light, switching it on, it brings clarity, coherence, and buckets of energy that you didn't even know you had. It's like going on a sugar detox. If you've ever done that and experienced that freedom in the body, when the body is not slowed down with the reactions of sugar, you know, then you find this new tapped in energy. It's akin to that, really. So are you ready to get started and see where your own unique and powerful path leads? If you are, give me a hell yes in the box. There might even be a page in the workbook that I'm going to give away for free at the end of this live. When it comes to managing your time, to know yourself, it's about your values, your goals, your strengths, and your challenges. They all stand you in better stead than any number of time tips. Because the four tips to saying no are equal to knowing yourself, your values, your goals, your strengths, your challenges. Those four things, what are they again? Values, goals, strengths, challenges. I also have an invitation for you to join my 5-day free distraction to action challenge, where I'm going to support you to do the work to stop the distractions in less than 30 minutes a day. So post challenge here if you want to be put on the wait list, and the guys and the team will let you know when it's starting. Because did you know it could take up to 26 minutes to regain your focus after a distraction? Imagine how much time you'd gain if you were better managing your attention. You'd literally regain hours in the day. I did. Once I stopped the distractions, that's exactly what happened. My productivity soared, and I have more time for myself and my family at the end of the day. Less running around in circles, less stress because I didn't finish a project, less anxiety because I wasn't running out of time, and a more streamlined and enjoyable day. You know, I can't imagine actually living any other way than this now. I really can't. Having those methods subconsciously for so long in my corporate career. And I realized, only recently I realized that several years had passed and I had fallen, by the wayside. I wasn't living, that way and planning that way. Whereas now, the last 2 or 3 years, I've really reconnected deeply, and even more so in the last few months, as I've been preparing to deliver this content to you and, getting things, I've realized that I wasn't quite doing it fully myself. And having reconnected deeply with that, I'm seeing my own productivity and focus soar and results grow, as a byproduct, which is even more wonderful. So, and also as well, I find that the icing on the cake, if you were, what gets topped off is a sense of accomplishment, because you've finished everything. You've finished everything that needed to be done, and to me, this gives me a better night's sleep, and I'm waking re-inspired to do it all again, not dragging myself out of bed because, oh, I've got all that stuff to finish I didn't do yesterday. So this sounds good to you, then you alone or together, we can make 2022 our most productive and profitable year yet. I really look forward to hearing from you. Do you want to work with me on this? Are you interested in doing that? Are you committed to doing that? You can be interested, but only be interested if you're ready to commit. So when we think about time management the you-based way, I give credit to Heather Dornick for this. It's called the time division principle. And this is what, when I came across this, is what was really the game changer for me. And I've added my own spin to it. But her principle is split into 3 things: time on, time off, and time in. And it's so powerful when you really understand and you follow these principles. So time on is things like when you are engaged in creating in support of your business growth. So perhaps you're working on your business, or you're working with yourself, on yourself, or with a business mentor. That's what time on means. Time off is exactly that. It's when you're completely away from your business. Ideally, you're not even thinking about it. You're being present to yourself and to whoever you're with in that moment, and not thinking about work or business strategy or anything. You're being completely present to where you are. That is time off. That's our rejuvenation time. And the third one, remember, what was that? That's right, time in is when you're serving your business. You're serving your clients. You're actually in the business doing the work that brings in the money. And the most important thing around these three things of time in, time out, and time on are time boundaries. They're really key to, a team management tool, if you like, for time, and one that we often think of when, when we're focused and we're concentrating, necessary for completing a task. Yet time boundaries are vital, not just for your efficiency and your effectiveness. No, they're the byproducts that happen because of the time boundaries, but they're fundamentally important for your well-being too. Because when you have boundaries around your time, you get things done, and like I say, you end up with the day fulfilled. You've ticked off everything you needed to do. You sleep better. You're more present in your time off to your family, your loved ones, and your energy, your work, it just all flows together. Because Heather describes the principle of time division, what does she say, as it relates to managing a business. However, if you take the time to research her work and read, I think you'll see how it actually applies to life, to choices, to lifestyle. And this is what I've done. So that said, once you understand these steps, watch your numbers grow, along with your self-worth and ultimately your net worth. And we all want that: time, money, freedom. I believe that's at the core of each and every one of us. It's our birthright. As we come into the holiday season, I'm reminded of the challenges of giving yourself that time off. I've struggled with it. My partner's going to having several weeks off, and I think, oh, can I do that too? Can I just do down tools and disappear for a few weeks? Be lovely, right? And I've been struggling with that. And it may be the place, where perhaps your time boundaries are most challenged too. I'd love to know. Have you ever had a technology vacation? A week, a day, even a few hours perhaps? You may need to think about doing this, as it truly does give yourself some time off. I've done it a couple of occasions, and I've really promised myself to do it more, and so that I'm due to do that as well. I recently did step away from my desk to go for a long walk, and there I was, breathing the air, the sunshine, no phone, no laptop, no tablet, no reading material, no book, no to-do list, just me, the sun, the bird song, and the dog. I was walking my dog and the other dogs that ran along the fence lines of the various rural properties where I was walking. And you know what? It was an incredibly refreshing walk, as I let my mind relax and wander along, along with my body. And when I returned, I had two great ideas, for awakening business and awakening wealth, just seemingly pop out of nowhere. So this is the thing, guys, it's about creating space. So do you really, and I mean really, give yourself time off? If not, try it today and see what kind of gifts emerge. Will you do that? Will you do that? Say yes. Give me a yes in the box, in the comments. I'd love to know. The next thing these things give you is focus and action. For many, goal setting has a feel of a choice that narrows options, right? And it becomes an imposing limits. And there is another thought. There's another way to think about it, rather than bearing on just these feelings of narrowness and limitations. I think goal setting is similar to deciding what harbor you're heading to. Depending on the wind, its direction, the current, the waves, all these sorts of things, your actual plan and the path that you had plotted to make may vary considerably. Is it your fault? No, it's external factors. Yet your goal is always that harbor. Whatever adjustments you need to make, to get yourself there safely, this is what happens. So I invite you just to take a step back, because it's in that step-by-step process of the journey that your flexibility really does come into play. Do you believe you have that behavioral flexibility to allow yourself to deviate from what you might see as a rigid, limited plan of your goals? I hope so, because success will come far easier if you do. So here's 3 tips that I'm going to share with you that help you engage with the process and enlist your creativity and agility as you work to attain your goals. They've worked well for me, and I think that if you embody them and take them on board, I'm sure you'll have the same results. Number 1, the first one is to develop an attitude of expansiveness. If you breathe deeply and encourage yourself to broaden your own viewpoint, to let in all the possibilities, maybe you can combine 2 divergent ideas and create a new option. If you're struggling with something, there's a limit there and a block, a challenge. Then by doing this, to expand that awareness, that attitude around things, you can see new options. So allowing yourself to open things, to be open to different solutions or ways of thinking, things that you perhaps may not have originally thought about, to enrich the outcome in ways that you can never imagine. The second one is let go of outworn expectations. When you find sometimes that your goals are thwarted, your first feeling is frustrated, right? I think if we're all honest, that's what's happened. We feel frustrated. And there could be various reasons for that. It could be something you've done yourself, something else that's happened, something out of your control. But if you feel stuck in that space, explore whether what you're expecting in life to play, or are you playing by rules that you learned long ago, is what I'm trying to say here. How are you playing this game with the goals? Because you can choose, remember, you can choose to let go of the rigidity based on old expectations that needlessly restrict you. You don't have to choose that path. There's another way. So encouraging yourself to create a wider base, letting go of those outworn or outdated expectations. And the third tip is to draw on your creativity. Because when we're confronted with an obstacle or an unexpected twist in the road or a bend or a great big wave that smacks up against the boat as we're trying to sail and navigate our way to that harbour, if we can step back and ask ourselves, what if? It allows us to loosen up, to release the tight hold that we have, the need for control, and try on different options, different ways of doing that, different ideas, until we find the new connection or the new path or a safer path to travel. You can be playful, to access even more creativity and more ideas. So I think, it's important here to have fun with this, to encourage visualization and fantasy. It can be, what happens if I put a different outfit on? Can I sail the boat better? If I put knee pads on, am I going to be able to tack across the deck quicker? Because my knees will be so sore climbing from left to right as we rotate the sail. Yes, I've done some sailing in my time. So setting time in boundaries. Let's think about that for a second then. Quick tips. And this is not an uncommon problem by any means. It's a lot of people have problems setting time in boundaries, and timing is when you're actually in your business. There's distractions or other demands coming from many different directions, right? And it's difficult to set those boundaries, and it's so easy to get pulled off course, get taken away on the tide or on the sail. And remember, it's 26 minutes to get back your focus. It's a long time to lose. So remembering that your time boundaries often affect others as well is a starting point. So if you're mindful that if you get distracted and your deadlines don't happen, the goals or the things that you wanted to achieve that particular day or that hour, that week, whatever the time scale is for you, and remembering that the knock-on effect of those is a good starting point. Because from that starting point, you can plan ahead for some of the predictable scenarios that you think, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. So those 3 quick tips that I wanted to share, and I do share with clients, I hope they will help you too. So the first one is to Be sure to decide before going into a discussion with others, you know, about your boundaries, whether or not your boundaries are set. Like, are they negotiable or non-negotiable? That's what I mean by set. Set or not, negotiable or not, same thing in my book. Second point is, if they're negotiable, strive ahead for time of, you know, for a compromise that meets the needs of everyone involved. So if they're not set in stone, if they can be moved and be flexible, then strive ahead of time for a compromise, and then it gets it done, and everyone knows where they stand. And the third point is that if they're not negotiable, then courteously explain in the beginning why these boundaries can't be modified in the short term, and just explain why. Sometimes that helps initially. I'm also a big believer in not having to justify, explain, or defend anything to anyone about anything that I do. That's just me, you know, owning my own responsibility and my actions in life. But sometimes when we are on this journey of implementing boundaries, it really can be, you know, a good way to explain why your boundary is not negotiable to someone, so they understand your view and where you're coming from. Because boundaries, do you think they're vital? I do. Why do you think they're vital? Any idea? Post a comment in the box. For me, it's all about flow through and flexibility. Because when you flow through or follow through, on a boundary, you set, it's like you're keeping a promise, you know, one that you've made to yourself and to others. And this builds trust on all fronts, right? We know this. And trust, self-worth, self-love, it's all very linked together. So it's always important to enlist the support of others as much as possible. You know, when you ask people in your life to support your boundaries, it's a good idea also to assure them that you'll be open to discussing and perhaps modifying, even when the current, you know, time requirements are changing. So a boundary that is non-negotiable right now, and for that reason that you've communicated, may well be a boundary that could be negotiated next time. So explaining that helps, you know, for them to follow through and to be flexible around boundaries. Because this builds in room for flexibility down the road, like I said, and everyone is helpful, you know, everyone is respectful of boundaries when we communicate them clearly. Because follow through boundaries makes them meaningful. The flexibility makes them inclusive and friendly. So how are you using time boundaries in your life today? Do you use them? That's the first question. How are you using them? Are you staying true to them? Interesting questions, right? This is something that's new, a new concept, a new idea to you. Then I'd encourage you to write those 3 questions down and spend some time to think about it, to journal on it, to make some notes, see what comes up for you. Because you are the key to finding the time that you say you desire, you struggle with. You are the key. And the 4 tips to saying no really is, it's in your hands. The first, it's in your hands. The power and the control is all in your hands. Explore the uniqueness of your own personal relationship with time. There's nothing more energizing or efficient than being in sync with yourself, and knowing yourself is far better than any number of time trips. So we've covered that earlier. I just wanted to recap here by those things, that it's all in your hands. Because as I said, it starts with you. The power and control is in your hands. What the tools do is provide you with a way in to open your heart, right? And to begin to explore the uniqueness of your own personal relationship with time. And this is because there's nothing more energizing, more efficient than being in sync with yourself. I keep repeating this, but I think it's important. I'd rather you hear it 2 or 3 times. Because when it comes to managing your time, knowing yourself is far better. And your energy, second tip, like we covered, no matter the time challenge you face, tap into the energy. The path always opens. When you find the energy, the path will open. Accessing you, bringing clarity, coherence, buckets of energy you didn't even know you had. It's all about you inside out. Are you ready to do this? Are you ready to think about time management in a different way? If you do this already, then please let me know. I'd love to celebrate with you and congratulate you. It's a beautiful way to honor yourself and your time. I suggest you think of this U-based management tool as a doorway, if you like, an opening, a way into your heart, your authentic self, no matter what kind of time challenge you face. When you tap into the core of who you are, unimaginable opportunities and pathways open. And that's because you're connecting deeply to you, your vital source of power. Remember plugging in that lamp, shining it. That's what we're doing here. It's all about working inside out. So the 4 tips, the main ones to saying no are really knowing yourself. Like we said, what were they? Can you remember the 4 things I said? Values, goals, strengths, and challenges. And when you're in sync with all of these 4 things, you will consider deeply every yes and reply easily a no when you're not aligned. That's the beautiful secret to this. Once you are aligned with those things and you honor yourself and you honor your time, it's very easy to say no. So are you ready for the 6 action step plan? I will briefly run through each of the steps. There's a lot more detail on it and a workbook for you to work through. That will be putting the link up below. You can download that. It's free, no hassle, no call-ups, none of that salesy bullshit calls, anything like that. Just download the resource, have value from it and use it. Ready for a 6-step action plan? Let's get to step 1, access. Access and assess your priorities. What are the most important pieces of your life? Because all of the profit's not going to matter. All of the profit in this world won't matter if they're not aligned with your priorities. It really is that simple. You might say you're all about the money, but there's a lot of rich people out here in this world that aren't very happy. So make sure that you assess your priorities. Number 2 is the checklist. All the things you do. If you stop feeling scattered and unaccomplished at the end of the day by doing this, it will have a good checklist. 5 things once done, not possible to let go of, if you like, that 100% attention they deserve. They might get, 20% each. So one thing at a time. Check it off when it's done. No multitasking. Focus. Don't get distracted. One thing done, it's more efficient. Step 3 is time. Number of hours a week you desire for your key priorities. So when you assess your priorities and you come up with them, the next thing we're doing here is, okay, how much time do I want to spend on each priority? If your top priority is family, and you look at your calendar and you've got 1 hour on a Friday to have a pizza with your kids and your partner, then I'm sorry, but you're not prioritizing family. So something sucks. So here you get to determine how many hours in the week you want to allocate to family. Is it 10 hours? Is it 5 hours? Is it 20 hours? What is it for you? So this is life by your own design that we're doing here, which means you have the power to manage it in any way that matches your version of success. We're all different. We all think and see success in different ways. Step 4 is to integrate, to bring it all together. So we focus on the key areas here that will lead to the strongest personal and financial growth. We wrap up the to-dos, if you like. This leads to stagnant and unfocused business. So if we're too wrapped up in the to-do list, we don't see the big picture, right? We lose the focus. So when we bring focus back to the key areas that are our main priorities, then this will lead us to the path of the strongest and personal financial growth. We all want that. I believe we do. But I know we do. Step 5 is organize. This is how we're going to use the weekly planner. This is one thing that's a must to get done to move you closer to your own goals each week. It's time to block out your priorities. And I do this with color. For example, my self-care, my personal routines are in pink. And there's certain times every day for certain things. Other things, there are 4 blocks in the week that are my time, and I can be flexible on them. I can move them around with the priorities, but they have to happen. So if it comes to the last day of the week and I haven't done any of them, then that's the day off. Sorry, switch off. That's my time. And step 6 is the new normal. It's what you've just done is going to be a game changer for your business. It's a foundation, if you like. It's a foundation set of stones that you will live by your own design. It's so exciting. So in wrapping all this up, let me say it again in the words of Henry Ford. If you always do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. You've all heard that so many times. That's the problem. So let me get my poking stick. Always doing what you've always done. So here's a question for me to you from me. Will you implement the 4 tips? Values, goals, challenges, strengths. Will you get intimate and know yourself? Know your time? And will you take a go at the 6-step action plan? I hope you do. I hope I see lots of yeses coming through. So here's some brain science thrown in for good measure. When we access, we get new information relative to the outcome that we want. When we take action on this information, we get a result. When we have a result, we can measure it and we get feedback on the result. And then we can adjust it and tweak it as necessary. Now you might be thinking, yeah, I've heard that all before. What's this chick talking about? Well, here's the kicker. You can rote learn these steps and say, yeah, I know. Yet what you can't rote learn is the experience of actually doing it. Who gets that? New lens, new meaning, new way forward. After all, when you embrace successing over success, you can stop attending workshops, events and seminars, just to be seen doing the right thing, or attending them since it's a strategic plan at the ready. Stop gathering information, waiting like you feel, you know everything, you're good, you know what you're doing. Nope, shelf development won't bring the changes you need. I'm sorry, they just won't. It's action. Stop wishing and waiting for hoping for success to come along. Poof, just like the genie in the bottle. Not going to happen. So I have a gift for you, the Distraction to Action workbook. You can click on the link in the comments below and download your free copy. And I hope you do, and I hope you enjoy it. You spend time with it, you nurture it, it nurtures you, and you create your own 6-step action plan. Next week, I have the gorgeous Lee Hicks joining me again as we talk about all things niching down and creating your own business online. It's so important, I feel, given the current climate of this mandatory no jab, no job situation that we're all seeking, we're seeing roll out across the world, everywhere really, it's affecting. It's time to take back your own power. I believe it's time to take back your own power in terms of your own ability to earn money and your ability to invest the money that you have, create the wealth that you were entitled to, the wealth we were born with. We were all born worthy of wealth. So join us next week, 3 o'clock, 1st of December. Wow, 1st of December. Look at that. We're in the last month of the year already. And what a year it's been. I'm calling it the year of pivoting. So that's it from me. Till next time, remember to be your own boss, to do whatever it takes. And for this week, that is download the workbook and get started. Bye-bye for now.